Hey guys, MCU Collector here with a new video, and today I am switching things up. So there are no new Marvel Legends right now. Fingers crossed that I get the infamous Iron Man very, very soon. I think technically it's after midnight as I am filming this. Yep. So hopefully I get that infamous Iron Man today, which is Friday, April 19th. So hopefully I get that. Hopefully I get the 2-pack, the Kraven Spider-Man 2-pack soon. But for right now, these next couple of videos are actually going to focus on the new Power Rangers figures. Now, Hasbro picked up the license from Bandai. So Bandai lost the license. Hasbro picked up the Power Rangers license. And then I think a couple of months later, Hasbro announced that they just flat out bought Power Rangers, the whole entire thing. It is now owned by Hasbro, similar to like Transformers is completely a Hasbro thing. So like the Transformers movies were actually Hasbro movies. I think Power Rangers, that's exactly what's going on here. But I'm very excited. So I'm a big fan of Hasbro. I don't think that's any kind of secret here, you know, with all my Hasbro Marvel Legends, no Toy Biz at all. So I'm very happy to have Power Rangers. Now, when I was a kid, I was in 2nd grade. That's when Power Rangers came out. I loved it. I was a big fan. I'll admit it. I loved everything about it. I watched the first few seasons and then, you know, I just kind of grew out of it. But Mighty Morphin, I know about. Zeo, I did watch, and there was some other thing. I think beyond that, I just kind of had lost it. But I'm extremely happy to have these new Hasbro figures. I used to have the old ones. I don't know if they were like 10-inch figures. I had like all the Megazords and everything. It was really a great time to be a kid back then with those toys and those figures. So I'm kind of happy that, you know, we kind of get this collector grade 6-inch figures now. Whereas Bandai had the Legacy Collection. Those were awesome. I had kind of gotten some, but then I kind of sold them off. And, you know, right now all I have is the White Ranger, Red Ranger, and the Green Ranger. White Ranger, I'll actually do a comparison with the new Hasbro Lightning Collection one. But here, you know, we're going to go for it. I'm going to collect all the Mighty Morphin line. So if it's Mighty Morphin, you know, the classic logo there, I'm going to get it. So we'll start with Lord Zedd. White Ranger, I also have. Goldar, the GameStop exclusive, is on pre-order. Hopefully Wave 2 will come out soon, or we hear some kind of announcement, because I am very anxious to see what figures we're going to get and kind of how long it's going to take to actually complete the entire team. But what I'm glad about is that we're actually getting some of the villains that, you know, Bandai just wasn't doing. So here we go. So packaging looks awesome. It's very basic. It's about the same size as a Star Wars Black Series package, but it's a lot more colorful instead of just black and white. So we got Zedd here, Power Rangers Lightning Collection by Hasbro, Mighty Morphin Lord Zedd. Awesome looking artwork there. So if you look at it corner, you can see it's pretty cool. Get the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers logo there. Another look at Zedd. Here is the back of the package. Just shows a product shot of the figure. That is awesome. And then there's no bio or anything, surprisingly, right? Even with Black Series, they put a bio, but nothing for the Power Rangers. And then for everyone, here is the UPC for you guys. So let's get right to it. Open this up. I am very excited. Let's do it. All right, and here is Lord Zedd figure out of the package, and you know what? He's pretty friggin' awesome. Let's get right to it. Let's take a close look at those accessories, then we'll get in closer for the figure, and we'll go over the articulation. Okay, so the accessories that Lord Zedd comes with, he comes with an additional pair of interchangeable hands. He comes with a grow bomb. He has this kind of lightning fire effect that goes onto his Z staff. They all look pretty good. Now, the Z staff I like, except there's no paint to it. It's just done in a gray plastic. I would have liked a more metallic look to it. So you know, just one coat of metallic paint, I think would have looked really good. The grow bomb looks okay. The sculpt of it is nice, but the paint of it, it looks kind of, I don't know what about it. It looks kind of sloppy, kind of flat. And looking at the others, now I have seen the Dino Thunder, I think it's Dino Thunder, but the Red Ranger, the Dino Red Ranger, the gun on that he comes with, the blaster effect, is very poorly painted, and it kind of reminds me of this, where it's not a real smooth silver paint to it. It doesn't look bad, but I think they could have, it could have looked smoother. Maybe that's just how it should look. I don't know. Maybe I'm being a little too picky, but for me, you know, it's done well enough, but I would have liked a more smooth, shinier, metallic silver to it, but it's pretty basic. This flame effect thing, this is similar to what we've seen with like Marvel Legends, you know, with that blue lightning effect or yellow or purple. We've seen it in a number of different colors, but I like this one a lot more because this one's actually a lot thicker and really holds in place a lot better than the Marvel Legends ones. Whereas those are real thin and kind of get warped around. You move it around, yeah, you can wrap it and whatnot. But in here, it seems to hold up a lot better because it seems just a little bit thicker. So I like this one a lot more. It's just done in a red translucent plastic. And then here, for his left hand, he has a fist. Nothing special to it. The one that comes on the figure is open holding hand that can hold the grow bomb, and then for his right hand he gets an open holding hand so he can actually hold the grow bomb in his right hand as well. And then on the figure itself is just the hand to hold the Z staff. But I'm going to talk about that because be careful with this into his right hand. Okay, let's take a closer look at the figure. Okay, so here's a close-up look at Lord Zedd. Now, the figure itself, it looks great. There's a lot of awesome things to it. But a couple of things that I will mention. When the figure was first announced and promo images and stuff of the figure had first come out, you know, even a look on the box, it looks like it's a kind of a brighter red. You know, there it is on the box, as you could see. You know, it's much brighter red, but the figure itself is kind of a dull reddish brown color. And I don't think it looks bad. I just wanted to point that out. And then we also get a nice black wash throughout the whole figure except for the back. There's, you know, there's no paint wash on the back, but the front of the figure along the legs, the torso piece, the arms and whatnot, we get a nice black wash that's added on that does look really good. And of course he's all, there he goes, right in focus. So a lot of cool things. Now, another thing that I did not know until I opened this figure up, but this chest piece here, the silver piece, and then you got these hoses that go around along his arms, go down his legs, and into his back. This piece here is actually the same translucent blue that you see of these hoses, and then along with the around the wrist. It's actually the same plastic, so this is very, very, very flexible. But it has a nice silver paint to it, so it actually looks like it's kind of a hard plastic piece on top, when really it's not, because if you look at the bottom, you could see that it's actually the same translucent blue plastic there. So they just painted the front of it, and that shouldn't be an issue, because when are you going to really get this folding over to where you're going to see that it's the translucent blue? That shouldn't be a problem. But looking at the figure, really awesome things that they actually have done to it. It just looks really good throughout the whole figure. Head sculpt looks great. This texture detail of the brain looks good. The silver portion of his head all looks very clean. All looks very good. The sculpted muscle detail throughout his entire body looks very good. You can see again on the back. There's none of that paint wash there, but you know, we get some good silver paint back there. So, very, very good looking figure. Now, I've seen some complaints online, I think maybe through my Instagram. They sculpted, oops. We can zoom in there. So if you look, the fingers are sculpted, because in the show and in the movie, I can't remember for the movie for sure, but in the show he actually had like silver fingertips as part of his armor. So they're sculpted on there, but they are not painted. So it's kind of too bad that they didn't do that, especially since they actually took the time to sculpt them out. So you could see there, but they did not actually paint them, which is a little unfortunate, but you know, it's not a deal breaker for me. It's still a fantastic looking figure, especially to have a 6-inch Lord Zedd, you know. So let's go over the articulation. Okay, before I go over the articulation, one thing I want to point out, and I had mentioned this earlier, when trying to put the Z staff into his right hand, I really had to work that thumb, and in doing so, really stretched out the plastic, so you know, you could see a little white stress mark in that plastic. So be very careful when putting the Z staff in his hand. So you know, I was almost afraid I was going to just break that thumb completely off, so be careful with that. Okay, so the great thing about Hasbro actually producing these figures is the articulation that this guy has. And he is packed with articulation. First, let's measure him out, see how tall he is. So the figure itself comes up to about 6.5 inches, and then from the top of the Z, you're looking at right about 7 inches or just above. So good size to him. But the articulation is really where it's at. So, you know, Marvel Legends level articulation. So first we'll go over it. So the head, he can look down. You can get him to look all the way up, which is great. You get full rotation, of course. There's some pivot in there. You get a little bit. Shoulders can go up. Let's see. Ooh. And be careful with that ratcheting. So you can get the shoulder up that high. You can't get a full rotation in the shoulder because you got these hoses and stuff to worry about, but you can get them to go up pretty high. Again, these hoses are very flexible plastic, so you won't get so much of an issue there. There is an upper bicep swivel in there. You get a solid double jointed elbow, which is great. There is a wrist swivel, and you do get a wrist hinge on both sides of the same hinge. And then you also get a butterfly joint actually in this figure, so you can get those arms to go that far back. So great motion there. Then forward, you can get him going that far forward. So great butterfly effect in there. Then we also have 2 points of articulation in here. So this figure does not have a waist swivel. However, he has a diaphragm joint to give you good pivot that side. Great pivot that side. Now forward itself, the diaphragm joint will get you that much. Going back, the diaphragm joint will get you that much. And then there's also an added ab crunch. So the crunch itself will get you there. Going back, the crunch will get you there, and then you could add in the diaphragm to get them to go even far back or even further forward. So a lot of range of motion in there. And again, these hoses aren't really getting in the way because there's some slack already built into them, and because they're so flexible, it's not really an issue. Legs can go out that far apart, so great wide range there. Going forward, not a whole lot. He can get his leg that far forward because the silver armor here on the upper thigh and the silver armor here in his pelvis are hitting, so you're not getting as much of a kick forward as someone might like. And you can't really get the leg to go back, so no backwards motion there. There is an upper thigh cut there, so this silver armor goes right around that upper thigh piece, and it does not get in the way at all. It just rotates right around there. Oh, look at that. I guess some of this armor actually comes off. So this just pegged right out of the knee. And you can just pop that in. And again, these are very, very flexible pieces of translucent plastic. Get a double jointed knee, which gives you right about a 90-degree bend. His calves are huge, his quads are huge, so you don't get a whole lot of range of motion in that knee. So only about 90 degrees, even with the double jointed knee, which is pretty crazy. There's no boot swivel whatsoever, but the ankle, my ankles are very stiff. You may need to warm them up, and then depending on how you're gonna get it on that foot, let me zoom in here so you can see what I'm talking about. This foot and this armor and that back piece, you can get the foot to work over it. I did that on the other foot, but you can also pivot it and then hinge it so you can get all kinds of range of motion in that ankle. Again, they're pretty stiff, so you want to be careful. So you can't get it to hinge up only a little bit. It's the down you can get quite a bit, and then again it is a full ankle pivot. This armor piece again is very flexible, so it moves around as much as you want it to, so you can get the ankle into whatever position you really want to get. But in some of these you may want to hit it with the hair dryer because it could be a little stiff when getting to stand up. So you can see there is a crazy good amount of articulation on these figures, on par with what we would see with Marvel Legends, which is something that, you know, we've come to expect with Hasbro. Now, not all figures have fantastic articulation. Some figures actually have terrible articulation, but this guy is jam-packed with it, and I think he looks awesome. And I cannot wait to open up my White Ranger. Can't wait to get more Rangers. Goldar is going to be a highlight because the promo images of that figure look absolutely amazing and will blow me away, I'm sure. But Lord Zedd hits every expectation that I have and definitely worth the hype. He is going to be hard to find, so get out there, If you see him, pick him up because he is only single packed per case. So case breakdown is 2 Red Dino Thunder, 2 s.p.d. Shadow Ranger, 3 White Ranger, and then only 1 Lord Zedd. So of course the villain gets the shaft, right? 1 per pack. If you see him, pick him up. I highly recommend. It is an awesome figure. Can't wait to grow my Power Rangers collection, even though it's only going to be the Mighty Morphin, so I won't get those other figures, but definitely one to pick up. So that's my review. Let me know what you guys think of the figure. Let me know what you think of this video. Hit that thumbs up if you guys like the video. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. And as always, thank you for watching.